Okay, here we go. Okay, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but this is for sure my favorite chapter of Tanya. Chapter Chav Zayin, chapter 27. You can learn so much from this chapter. I mean, really the truth is you can learn so much in every chapter. But chapter 27 is something really, really special. Let's remember what we're doing here. We are changing our perspectives, right? We're looking at all the different things that are getting us down, making us sad, and we are going to use our brilliant minds to change our perspective on the way we are looking at life, right? We already discussed issue number 1, things that are going wrong in the Gashmiistic world. Issue number 2, I did some bad averas, I made some bad sins, and now I'm in the middle of my work, and in the middle of my work I start thinking about those things. Obviously not the right time. Change the agenda. Okay, that was all chapter 26. Here we go, chapter 27. Ve'im ha'atzvus eina medaigas avoinos ela mihurhurim ra'im v'taivos ra'os shenaiflos v'machshavaso. So he says like this. This is a very interesting scenario. We're not talking about now the different sins that I've done in my life or anything like that. But a person is reflecting on himself. And he starts to look and he says, I've been frum now for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, whatever it is. And I recognize that my mind is still filled with all this nonsense. All these bad thoughts are coming into my mind, these images that I really wish were not there. All this negative stuff is coming in. And I'm wondering, what in the world? Basically, the person's saying to himself, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm honestly not getting anywhere. I'm the same person as I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I have not changed. This is a very depressing thought. Because here he's working, he's trying, he's doing, he's changed so much in his life. And yet, at the same time, as much as he's changed, how much has he really changed? It looks like he hasn't really changed at all. He has the same nonsense piling in. So let's start with when these thoughts are going on. So let's say the thoughts happen not at the time of avodah, not in the time of when he is davening, learning, but instead it's coming at a time like, let's say he's in the working world, he's working by his computer, he's working with some customers, and all of a sudden these negative thoughts are popping up into his mind. Once again, the Alter Rebbe says and shows us it's total change of perspective. Instead, he should be so happy. The most incredible idea. Here we go. The guy has been frum for 10 years. And all of a sudden, he starts thinking about things that it says in the books you shouldn't be thinking about. You shouldn't be thinking about this. Shouldn't have this idea in my mind. Or let's just say he's starting to feel like I'm very down, very negative, or very angry at someone, or have bad feelings towards another person. It could be anything from desires of the heart, right? He starts thinking about images of women that he has in his mind, right? Images of who knows what, right? Ice cream and basketball, right? Or that he is thinking all these negative thoughts and has all this negativity. And he starts to get depressed. Not because necessarily of the actual thoughts, but just even the concept. How could it be that I'm still thinking about these thoughts? Right? I'm 50 years old, I'm 40 years old, I'm 30 years old, whatever it is. I'm 80 years old, and I still am dealing with the same nonsense. Can I grow up? Can I recognize that I'm different, I'm changed. I've done so much in my life to make myself into a better person. And as much as I've worked, I see that I've accomplished nothing. That's the bottom line. That's what he's thinking to himself. I've accomplished nothing. Because the fact that I'm having these thoughts is a raya, is a proof that I haven't done anything. I haven't changed at all. I'm still the same, whatever. You fill in the blank, right? Now, Alter Rebbe says, look at this person. He is so miscalculating his situation. Remember what we talked about, I can't remember which class it was, maybe 2 or 3 classes ago. It's a matter of perspective on what is it all about? What is it all about? If it's all about I want to become the great tzaddik, the great hero, Eliyahu Hanavi, whatever it is, so then you're right, you should be really disappointed in yourself and you are a lowlife. But if it's about what am I doing here in this world? I have a job to do. I was sent down here by Hashem to make the world into a better place, to bring more light into the world, to make the world into the best place that I can make it. So then, how do I look at these thoughts? I look at them as an opportunity. I look at them as the opportunity to fulfill a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. All of a sudden, right, this picture pops up in my head, right? Opportunity. Push it away. Think about something else. I start thinking negative thoughts about myself in my head. Push it away. I start thinking negative thoughts about the guy next to me in my head. Push it away. All these things are opportunities for me to push it away. What's the difference, as he's about to say in a minute, between a person that shakes lulav and this guy that's pushing away these negative thoughts? Same thing. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah deraisa he's showing us here. The pasuk says, we say it in Shema every day, Lo sa'asu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. That's a pasuk in the Torah. Do not follow after your eyes, your heart, after your desires, after the things that you shouldn't be going after. Right? And therefore, what should I do? I should pull my mind away from that garbage. That's what I should do. That's a mitzvah. I've now changed the world. I've made the world into a better place by me doing that. I know that that's hard to believe because it's all in my head. But that's what the Torah is telling us to do. The Torah is telling me this is a mitzvah. This is something I can do. When I shake the lulav, the Torah is telling me, shake the lulav. It's going to bring more good into the world. The Torah, the same Torah that's telling me, shake a lulav is going to bring good in the world, is the same Torah that's telling me, take away your mind from this negative thought. Put it on something else. Now, how do you do that? Okay, let's have a test here in this class. Right? For the next 5 seconds, everyone's ready? Should I make it harder? For the next 10 seconds? No, we'll make it easier. 5 seconds. I want everyone to make sure that they do not think about any pink elephants. Remember, no pink elephants. Ready? We're going to start in a minute. Remember, no pink elephants. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how'd you do? Any pink elephants? Right? If yes, pink elephants, no pink elephants, right? So everyone knows the trick. How do you do it? If you're focusing on not thinking about pink elephants, so then guess how many pink elephants are going to be in your head, right? It's going to be filled with pink elephants. There's not enough room for all the pink elephants, right? The way to control your mind is not by saying what I'm not going to do, but by having an arsenal of information and of things that I can place my mind on. That's the goal. So when I tell you don't think about a pink elephant, so what should you do? You should think about a blue elephant. The same thing here. When these negative thoughts are going to pop into my mind, because my nefesh Bahamis is running the show and he's throwing all these curveballs at me all day long, what am I going to do? I'm going to have pieces of Torah in my mind. I'm going to have good images in my mind. I'm going to have all different things in my mind that I am setting the agenda for what's in my mind. Not my nefesh Bahamis, not my subconscious that just whatever comes in, I just go with the flow. It's not go with the flow. I want to be in charge. I don't want to go with the flow. Go with the flow means I'm going to follow my nefesh Bahamis every step of the way. That's a losing proposition. And so now when you recognize I have a job here, and that job every time I make the world into a better place, what it should be making me feel is happy. I'm accomplishing something. We know that every time that we accomplish anything in life, we feel happy, we feel grateful, we feel thrilled, we feel excited about it. That's just normal. That's the normal way that a human being is. And the same thing here. That's going to bring us happiness. If I'm sitting here and saying, oh, I'm such a low life, how could this have happened to me? How could I have this negative thought? I always thought I was much greater than this, and really I find out that I'm not much greater than this. It's not about me. It's about the mission. It's about what am I doing? That's what it's about. That's the idea here. And that's what he says. Let's go back and see what it says again. So he says, Alter Rebbe, the opposite. Yesh lo lismayach. He has what to be happy about. Bechelko, in his lot, that he is this way. Sha'af shenaiflos lo b'machshavaso, even though it falls into his thoughts. Hu mesiach daito mehen. He takes his mind away from them. Lekayim, in order to fulfill what the Torah says, Mashenema, v'lo sasuru acharei levavchem. Do not follow after your heart, v'acharei einechem, and after your eyes. Asher atem zaynim achareihem, which it's leading you astray. Yeah? Ve'ena kasem midaber b'tzadikim, likras zaynim chas v'shalom, el v'beinanim kiyotze bo. So he says, who do you think that this piece of Torah God had in mind? Who was the intention of this piece of Torah? It's certainly not the tzaddikim. The tzaddikim that we've already discussed in this book are not thinking about the movie that they watched when they were 12 years old. They didn't watch that movie. They didn't have that intuition. They had no desire for it. They had no thoughts of that. It's for you and me. It's for the regular person. The regular person has all these thoughts popping into his head. So this is a mitzvah that I can do that a tzaddik can't do. No tzaddik will be able to do this mitzvah, because no tzaddik will ever have any of these thoughts going up in their minds. That's the difference. And that's what we're talking about here. Right? It's with the regular people, because they are the ones that are having in their minds hirhurei niyuf, which means thoughts of relations with men and women. Yeah? Bein beheter v'chulu. And here he says, even if it's a permissible relations, for instance, husband and wife, right? Or they're not permissible relationships. We don't have to explain what that means, right? So the idea is that these types of thoughts, and he says it it's like, you wouldn't expect the Alter Rebbe to spell it out in such a black and white way, but this is what he's doing here, right? This is a normal person has these thoughts. Normal human beings, right? And when a person fulfills the mitzvah of taking his mind away from this, Mekayim lavzeh, he's able to fulfill this negative commandment. Va'amr Razal, like the Rabbi teaches, Yashav v'lo avar avera noistin lo schar ki'ilu asa mitzvah. And a person that does this, a person that sits there and does not transgress something, he's given the reward as though he fulfilled the mitzvah. Abal kein tzarich lismoach b'kiyum alav kamo b'kiyum mitzvahs aseh mamish. Right? And so therefore, a person should be so happy and so thrilled that they are able to fulfill this mitzvah. It's a mitzvah, as crazy as it sounds, that was directed specifically for me. Not for any tzaddik, because the tzaddik doesn't have to worry about these things. But it was for me and for you. And so when a person recognizes that he has that capability, he has that opportunity, it's a game changer. And the truth is, it should be impacting us in so many different areas, because we realize that so many of the negative thoughts that are coming into our heads and changing our perspective and making us look at the world from a way that is really, it's a pretty gray way of looking at the world. That is my nefesh abahamis. I have to realize it's my nefesh abahamis. It's my animal soul that's coming along and saying the world is a terrible place. The world is so hard. There's so many problems. There's so many issues. There's so many this. There's so many that. And what is my mitzvah? My mitzvah is push it away. This guy, that guy over there, he's such a jerk, and he did this to me, and that guy did that to me, and this guy. It's all the same thing. Push it away. It's negativity. It's all, we know where it's coming from. We know it's coming from my animal soul. That's where it's coming from. And it's my job to push that stuff away, push that garbage away, because that's what it is, it's garbage. And every time I do it, it should make me happier and happier and happier. And I shouldn't start thinking, wait a minute, I did this last week, and I did this the week before, and I did it the week before, why am I still getting this stuff? The answer is, because I'm human. I'm normal. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. You got it? It went off?
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. Let's do one little more piece and then we'll stop. V'Alter Rebbe, ha'atzvus hi migasas. Actually, you know what? This is a whole conversation. We'll save it for tomorrow. All right. That's it for today.